Guys, I want to talk about something that's been going on in Saudi Arabia. It's very important that we pay attention to it because we have gotten very close to the Saudis as far as political ties since Trump came into office. Remember, he visited there, and then I think Jared Kushner just came back from there. I don't know how good that is. But after that, they started a sweeping arrest of dozens of Saudi businessmen, officials, and even royalty on Saturday, culminating in the arrest of Prince Al-Walid bin Talal. Guys, that's the guy you always see on CNBC that is always in a Twitter fight with Trump. He's one of the most dramatic events in the kingdom's modern history, as they took down the heads of the three of the major networks. Now, that would be kind of neat to see over here, wouldn't it? It is a clear sign of power consolidating around Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, upon whom a great deal of President Donald Trump's Middle East policy is based. The chips are down, the wheel is spinning, and Trump is all in on the 32-year-old future king. It's amazing. The Associated Press summarizes the scope of the arrest and their clear connection to the ascension of Mohammed bin Salman, or MBS as he's often called. Now, some saying that it was a reform because they had so many crooked politicians and heads of media that were very corrupt. And bin Talal, the guy from, again, the investor, owned a lot of Twitter, by the way. And this happened the day after Twitter shut down Trump's account for 11 minutes. Remember that? Next day, Al-Walid is in lockup. One of the princes of the last ruling party was shot in a shootout. He refused to go down. Another prince died with another group of about 4 or 5, and a helicopter went down. I don't know if they were trying to escape the country, what they were doing, don't know. Not a lot of detail there. But something has just changed. Trump went there, and they talked about this, stopping terrorism, doing some reform in that country, and they made deals, him and Prince Salman. It says that the surprise arrest, which also reportedly included 2 of the late King Abdullah's sons, were hailed by pro-government media outlets as the greatest sign yet that Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman is keeping his promise to reform the country, long been plagued by allegations of corruption at the highest levels of government. Guys, does that sound familiar? And that's the reason I came here, is because there are reports, and I've been the last 2 days trying to determine the validity of these reports before I talked about it, and I still have not done that. But I want to say something. There's reports coming out that there's 12 sealed indictments. The Podesta brothers are going to be arrested, possibly Hillary, some other people. Arrested, guys, over this Uranium One deal, and it's part of the emails. But again, I'm going to show you what information is out there, but I can't validate it. But I can validate this. With the Texas massacre that we saw yesterday down in Sutherland, we did see a lot of Democrats come out and start screaming gun control, including Obama. And I went over and just to check on the Twitter. I don't even have a Twitter account that I know of, but I wanted to just check to see what the response was of some of these top Democratic operatives, Obama, Clinton, Bill Clinton, things like that. I want to show you what I found, and what's, again, about 20 hours or so ago, less than a day, Obama came in and mentioned about gun control. We need to do something about this. Normally, Hillary would be right in there harping, or Bill or Podesta or one of those coming right in attacking it. But Hillary and Podesta and Bill have grown silent since about the 2nd of this month. And that's when the report came out that they all may be about to go down. There is a report. Again, I cannot validate it yet. I do want to talk about it, so if it does go down, you're aware of it. If it doesn't, then you're seeing the parallel between the Saudi kingdom and I think what is about to go down in this country. I don't know if it's going to go down exactly the way this report is, but Trump is out of the country. And there's reports that there may be a lot of sweeping takedown, listen to me, here in the U.S., just like it's happening in Saudi Arabia. They're talking about civil unrest because of it, and there's been keys put into place by loyal members to Trump through our military to shut this uprising down when these Democratic and some Republican leaders go down. If this is true. Now, what I'm reading you about Saudi is true, but I want to show you the Twitter accounts. And here's the deal. Hillary and Bill and Podesta's have not opened their mouth about the Texas shooting. That's very unusual. They didn't attack it immediately, screaming for gun control like many of the others did. And they're the ones that are being talked about in secret sealed indictments and possibly arrest. Let's look at this a moment. Now, again, I've been digging for a couple of days to try to find out how much truth is in this report. And so we're looking at Hillary Clinton's Twitter page live right now, 3:57 p.m. today. And you see right here it says November 9th, but that's 2016. She had just lost the election, and she was telling, I remember all the little girls, never doubt you're valuable and powerful and deserving, and nobody ever said they did, Hillary. You're the one that tries to spew division. But her last recent post, guys, November 2nd, today's the 6th, 4 days ago. Be resilient. Then she's gone silent. Another thing that she tweeted on the 1st, today marks the start of the open enrollment for 2018 healthcare coverage. Go to healthcare.gov to find your perfect plan. Same thing as on Obama's website. Go in and sign. Now, something very incredible to me on Bill Clinton's site, and he's also gone silent, but before he did, let me show you what he is up to. Now, we haven't heard from him since November the 3rd. Remember the shooting again November 5th yesterday. Al Gore, they're thanking each other for their elections and all this crap. But if you come down here, guys, and this is really kind of spooky. Again, October 27th, a little over a week ago. This is to Clinton Foundation, replying to at Clinton Foundation, the airlift will help people in need in Puerto Rico. To support direct relief, visit directrelief.org. Donate. Just like the airlift for Haiti, guys. They never quit. They never learn. But again, his last post up above this was November 3rd. This is in reply to talking with Mr. Climate Master Al Gore, who's been proven a fool. Also, in this particular tweet from Russia says, Weinstein, who we know about, sex scheme in Hollywood, Tony Podesta, remember the brother to John Podesta, and now Prince Al-Walid. This is significant. All have strong ties to the Clintons and the Clinton Foundation. And this guy's taken out. He was one of the richest men in the world. But all the people that they've taken out in Saudi, they've frozen their bank accounts and frozen their travel permits. Now, Podesta's kind of missing in action, too, as far as Twitter goes. And it's a big deal to these people. I've never seen the big draw to it, but I prefer videos. But in the case of our president, I think it's been very useful. Here he's attacking Trump. Trump's big lie that his tax bill favors the middle class over his rich friends. Things like that goes on, calling Dr. Jekyll Mr. Hyde. All just constant attack from these guys that are so guilty of the real Russian collusion. And it's not really actually collusion, guys. Collusion is not a crime. But what they did is traitorous, money laundering, bribery, the entire 9 yards. One other thing, look at this. Now, John Podesta, or Tony Podesta, he's already been, had stepped down from his company because he's been named in the Mueller investigation. But here is Prince Al-Walid Talal. Again, the guy you see that's one of the richest men in the world, owns part of the Mandalay Bay top floor that has helicopter access, guys. Remember the last video about that? And owns a good share of Twitter, who attacked the president. But here's what he's called. He says, "To real Donald Trump, you are a disgrace not only to the GOP, but to all America. Withdraw from the U.S. presidential races. You will never win. This started it. Trump fired back on Twitter. That dopey prince wants to control our U.S. politicians with daddy's money. Trump can say it in such a perfect way. It's, he just spits it out there. There it is. That's what he wants to do. Dopey prince. And that's where this guy got his name. Now, I'm going to show you a little bit about that report. And we're just going to have to watch it and see how that plays out, because there are strange things that are happening in this nation. And if the report is true, I think it will be a good thing. Now, this is an anonymous tag, guys. It's called Q Clearance Patriot, and that's really the highest clearance you can get. Whether or not it is, we don't know. But this is tied in with a report coming out of 4chan. And it's hard to read. I'm going to read it to you. But there's also, beyond this point, this was around November the 1st, I think, guys, that there's been plea deals made to keep the indictment secret so there won't be public arrest. Just saying. It says, my fellow Americans, over the course of the next several days, you will undoubtedly realize that we're taking back our great country, the land of the free, from the evil tyrants that wish to do us harm and destroy the last remaining refuge of shining light. On POTUS's order, that's Trump, we have initiated certain fail-safes that shall safeguard the public from the primary fallout which is slated to occur starting 11/3 upon the arrest announcement of Mr. Podesta, actionable 11/4. Again, reports coming out early this morning that there's been a plea deal to keep this quiet. Confirmation to the public of what is occurring will then be revealed and will not be openly accepted. Public riots are being organized in serious numbers in an effort to prevent the arrest and capture of more senior public officials, almost a mirror of what we just saw happen in Saudi Arabia. It says, on POTUS's order, a state of temporary military control will be actioned and special ops carried out. False leaks have been made and put in place to retain several within the confines of the U.S. to prevent extradition and special operator necessity. Rest assured, the safety and well-being of every man, woman, and child of this country is being exhausted in full. However, the atmosphere of the country will unfortunately be divided, as so many have fallen for the corrupt and evil narrative that has long been broadcast. We will be initiating the Emergency Broadcast System, or EMS, during this time in an effort to provide a direct message avoiding the fake news to all citizens. Organizations and or people that wish to do us harm during this time will be met with swift fury. Certain laws have been pre-lifted to provide our great military the necessary authority to handle and conduct these operations at home and abroad. Guys, this is the part I'm not sure about. What I did do was go in and look at players, and they've grown quiet. Normally Hillary would be flying around on her broom screaming gun control. We're going to watch this, guys. I'm going to get up the second edition to the first book of Adam and Eve. It's excellent. Don't miss it. I would have had it up earlier. It's just been kind of a trying week coming out of the surgery, guys. Not a lot of sleep at night, but I'm doing good. Can't really complain. I'll be back to myself in a few days. This is a heads up. Be safe.